Close in 3, 2, 1, and you did it. Welcome to this episode of A Wonderful Chaos.
Hypnotherapy.
To my left is Bambos Charles Dimitriou. And to my
right is Mr. Andy Shalef.
I don't know if it's left or right, to be honest with you. Today we are on with Dipti Tait, who we know very well because she also had another episode on with a book that she had written called Good Grief. And if you want to listen to that episode, you can go back and listen to that. We love Dipti. And so we said, what's an excuse to get her back on? Basically, for me, Dipti is sort of a female version of me. So Bambos, you can ask her the same questions you might ask me, and I think you'll get the same answers.
And we're going to get on?
We're going to do that. We're going to discuss hypnotherapy with her. And we're going to do that where?
I thought to try to confuse you a bit.
Well, I mean, it's good that I get the announcement in of what the show is. So we're going to do
Sandy.
We're going to do it on A Wonderful Chaos, Bimbos. So, Bambos. What a day.
What a fucking day. Jesus.
I can tell you that after yesterday's show, it was like my inbox lit up with emails and comments. You know, I can't name names, but I get the why am I being such a dick to Bambos text or email. When did you join the Stasi was another post or email I got on Skype. You know, like it's so funny because every time before we go into a session, you're like, Andy, I want to go and have my emotions and share them. And I'm like, Bambos, well, how do we make it softer? You're like, no, Andy, I want to do it really.
If we're going to do it, we do it all the way. Andy, but we did make a video this morning to kind of talk about like the behind the scenes, right? And I'm hoping those videos will give people at least some perspective instead of getting triggered and reacting to what they think they see.
Yeah, I think the thing is, and I've noticed this a lot in my life, is that I kind of break people as horribly into two groups. The people who see that letting out emotions is just a good thing and just emoting and letting it be and not needing to attach to the emotion. And then the group that says, oh my God, why are you digging into emotions?
Yeah.
You know, and so with the people that I hang out with, half of the friends are people that are doing a lot of internal work, and they're like, "Oh, great, Bambos is getting it all out." And the other half is like, "Andy, why are you antagonizing Bambos? Why are you asking him emotionally difficult questions?" So it was nice to see. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm fully aware that when we said we're going to do the show on what did we do, single and shame.
Yeah.
I knew that you knew what you said yes to, and in a way, I feel so much love for you.
Yeah.
Because it's like I know that I'm not only throwing myself in the deep end, but I'm pretty much making your life difficult.
Yeah.
And the fact that you say yes to it just because you know it's going to nurture me is really the biggest, how should we say, expression of love.
Yeah, thank you for that. I did know I was going in the deep end. I think I joked about it on the phone to someone before I went on the show. I said, oh my God, this is going to be a rough one. But so now we've got Dipti on. And I think it's cool because Dipti, you know, she not only talks about stuff, but she also has tools. And for the last 10 years, she's been using hypnotherapy as one of the tools in her toolbox of helping people. So I think it would be great as well during our time with her if she'll be able to test and experiment with us and see how it works for us. I don't know if I said enough about Dipti before she came on, but I can tell you that she's been on all of the major morning shows in the UK. So Bambos, when you were in the UK and there's that white guy, he always has white hair and he sits on the sofa and he's a bit idiotic a little bit at times. Like that guy, if not, I'll show you a video later. Like she's got to sit on the sofa with him. So that really means Dipti's made it if she's made that sofa. Other than that, she's still got other things going for her. But at least I want to name that This Morning or Good Morning. The show's over there. So with that, I think it'd be nice to bring her on. I think we'll play with the who's on what on the screen at any given time, because it's new for us to be separate.
I'll take myself off right now, and then we'll bring.
Well, let's bring her on, and then we'll decide when she comes on. We'll give her the full view. I think that'll be nice. We'll figure it out as we go along. But God forbid that she doesn't get a chance to see you in the flesh. Hey, Dipti.
Hello.
We can't hear you now, so I don't know if your mic is there or what's going on.
Her mic is there.
I still can't hear you. We can do the song I always sing when someone doesn't hear me. It's "Can you hear me now? You take away the very part of me." We don't hear you at all now.
I think.
Ooh, Dipti, please don't go.
I think, Dipti, maybe it's good to restart again.
Yes, please start up again. We'll see if we can get you. You'll have to give. What do you call approval to the microphone when you do that. I hope that works the second time around.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my phone on for the communication. Anyway, the reason myself and Andy Shalev are not in the same space is because I hugged a person who was in touch with someone that was COVID positive, and we decided, just for the health of Andy, not to take any risks.
That's not true. You don't know if she's COVID positive. You know that she was with someone that was COVID positive. Oh, I thought you said you hugged a girl that was COVID positive.
No, that was with someone that was COVID. Oh, anyway.
I want you to start to sing. I feel like I'm full of songs today. I kissed a girl and I like it. I hugged a girl with COVID and I liked it. That's what I hear today coming out of my. So let's think about this.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
You know, I told you in the book, I mentioned the first psychiatrist that I ever went to see after my mom died, and I was dealing with the aggression and anger towards my dad. That I think I went maybe for 2 or 3 months, and I was blocked, and it was clear that the therapist wasn't going to really be able to go much further. So she asked me if I minded if they do some hypnotherapy. Would I mind being hypnotized, is what she asked.
Yeah.
And what I noticed was that, and I think Dipti will come and say something about that. There's people that are more, I don't know what the word is, susceptible to it, or more able to fall under hypnosis. I don't know or believe I'm one of those people. So I wasn't hypnotized in that moment. But what I did feel was up to that point, I hadn't meditated before. So it was the first time I experienced that quiet mind. If you got that mind where you're just like, oh, there's quiet here, and I see my own voices coming up, and I see the sounds of the story. Like, I started to experience that quiet mind. So I think what that hypnosis did for me was it allowed me to feel more connected to that quiet mind, and that was the experience that I got from it. So, and that might have been the intention of it, by the way. I don't know if that was the intention, but that's what I came out. That's what I came out with. Yeah.
Well, all I know from my own experience, which is very recent, actually, with a lady called Farah Ludvika.
Oh yeah, Farah does it. Yeah.
And we'll have her also on the podcast, right? I joined a group where she does morning meditation.
Okay.
And she's invented a thing called hypno meditation.
Uh-huh.
And what she'll do in the beginning of the meditation, she asks everyone their intention. And she especially tells us, lie down. This is like you fully receiving. And she has such a soft voice that at some point she'll say, try to open your eyes, and you just can't open your eyes.
Really?
Like, my eyes are glued. And at some point, it's like, if I focus on trying to open my eyes, I'm going to suffocate in my body. So I relax into it. And then she starts like whispering to your subconscious, like whatever the intention was. It's in Dutch. And hopefully soon she'll also be doing it in English if she gets enough English speakers. but you do come out of it feeling like someone has cleansed you or something. And I've done it just because as an experiment, but also I trust Farah. So I think she also says you cannot be
Mm.
hypnotized against your own like resistance. You need to
You
have
have to be able to surrender to it.
yeah.
That is fast. So you were hypnotized then.
Yeah. And it feels like so good because I know Farah. She's a very I would say she's very congruent in her life. So in a way, I trust her, and in that way, I can let go.
Yeah.
And I know that whatever she's doing, the intention is love.
That's beautiful. This was over a Zoom call, I guess.
No, it's a Facebook group,
Okay.
and it's done on a Facebook Live. It's a closed group, so you need to be part of it to be able to join.
But it would have there. This was all done remotely. You were hypnotized by someone remotely.
Yeah, at 7:30 in the morning, lying in my bed. We don't have to have our cameras on. We just have to listen to her voice, pretty much.
Wow.
And she's like with a blanket also, and drinking her tea and talking to us, and it's a 45-minute journey, and it's just really beautiful.
It's a little bit scary if you think about it, because what happens if you go under, right? Because you're remote and then you can't come out again.
We have to ask Dipti that.
Yeah.
But and we do have her back. But what I do know from Farah is she'll ask everyone to write in the comments that we're back.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, because they have to check in. Let's see if we have her. Are you there, my love? Your mic is somehow, we can't get your mic there.
How about that?
There we go. Now we hear you.
All right, let's abandon the headset.
We hear you clear now. So
I don't like the headset anyway. That's fine. Let's just put that down there.
Can I get one thing just clear?
Yeah.
There's something about your accent that I just love. And I don't know what it is, but every time you speak, I want to smile. So what is that accent? And like, is it specific to the area, or what's going on with that accent?
It's just London.
Is it really just London? Is it really just that?
London, innit? Yeah.
I see like Oliver Twist. Like I see all of these little, like, like the kids, like with their little like hats on, it's too funny.
Maybe it's London with a mix.
And we love your hair and glasses. Like you look like a hypnotherapist.
So Bambos and I were faking it before you got on and discussing everything that we had experienced with hypnotherapy till now. And he explained a moment ago that he actually has a woman who runs it's not called hypnotherapy. She calls it meditation. Is that right, Bambos?
She is a hypnotherapist, but she does a thing called hypnomeditation every morning.
Nice.
And it's really beautiful. She speaks to your subconscious mind. While she brings you into a space, and she'll like, I'll ask her afterwards, like, did you make us like nudge our shoulders? She's like, yeah, I did, but when I'm in it, I'm not even aware that it's happening, but I can just feel my body getting nudged.
Nice.
So it's almost like she has control of my body. That's how much surrender there is.
That sounds lovely. Sounds like a really good mixture of both modalities, if that's what you want to call them.
Yeah.
And what my question was right before you came on, and we'll get into we'll backtrack, but I thought maybe we'll just bring you in where we were at this moment, was that is there like especially if you're doing this remotely, is there a risk that the person goes under and that they can't be brought out, where you might be able to do it if you were with them but not remotely?
I think that depends on the experience of the practitioner.
Okay.
And I haven't had that happen to me. So, yeah, I've been working online for a long time. So it's probably, I guess, in a way, easy to not get somebody back if you don't really know what you're doing.
Okay.
If you do know what you're doing, that doesn't happen.
Okay.
And the reason why it would happen was because you would be working with someone called, we call them somnambulists. So a somnambulist is a person who literally just starts relaxing, and then you've seen them on the stage shows, they just go, ugh, sack of potatoes immediately. So they go right into trance quickly. And those are the really difficult ones to kind of bring back up again. But if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard. So, yeah.
Fascinating. Well, let's take a step back, by the way, just to reintroduce this show as if we're beginning for the first time. Dipti, Tait, it's great to have you back.
I was dancing and everything, and then I was just like, I can't hear you.
Nice.
It's good to be back. I love hanging out with you two. You're bonkers. Love it.
Takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, I know. Bonkers, like a self-confessed bonkers person. So that's good.
So I'm curious, because we also said to hypnotize one of us on the show, and there's something quite vulnerable there. Like, to what degree can you actually surrender when you're being witnessed by hundreds of people on a live show? That's also something that came up for me.
And it's, sometimes people come to me and they say, oh, hypnotherapy didn't work for me. And I will say to them, it's not the hypnotherapy that didn't work for you. It's the rapport that you had with the hypnotherapist. So that's the skill of getting that rapport and getting that feeling of connection and trust. And once you've got that, built up nicely, then it's, if you think about it in general life as well, this works in general life as well. If you're a bit worried about somebody, or a little bit skeptical, or a little bit fearful, then of course you're going to have your guard up, aren't you? You're not going to be like, oh yeah, just do whatever you like, crack on. You're just going to be more reserved or protecting yourself. But if you feel that the person that you're with is with you, connecting to you, and has your back, basically, and has a good intentions, and then you will be able to trust them enough.
Would that be to say that anybody would be able to be hypnotized? Is that what you're also saying, if they're in the right condition?
Yes, exactly. If they feel relaxed enough, they feel open enough, and they feel as if they can allow that experience in, and surrender is a good word. If they feel that they're able to surrender, and it's up to the practitioner really to make that happen. If they feel happy enough to let go fully, they will have the most amazing experience.
It sounds like someone you're going to give LSD to.
You've got to be in the right zone, haven't you, to experience anything? Because if you feel fearful of whatever it is, even if you go into the dentist, if you're worried or scared or anxious about it, then you're going to clamp up, you won't relax, you'll be all tense, and your neurology will be tense, and it will be difficult for everybody involved, right? So my job really is to allow you, to give you that space to fully experience what it might feel like to just let go of tension slowly, bit by bit, in different parts of your body. And then once you let go in your body, you start to let go in your mind. Once you let go in your mind, you then kind of find your own flow. And that in itself is pacing and leading. It's a really lovely thing to do with people, especially with people who are skeptical.
Yeah, I was thinking that if one is more skeptical, that's probably harder to put them under, I guess is the word one might use.
So basically, no, in a way, because if you can imagine somebody who comes to me and they're like, I don't really believe this is going to work. That's not fully true, because if they didn't really believe it was going to fully work, they wouldn't have booked in, and they wouldn't have turned up, to the session. They've got many other better things to do with their time, right? So there is a part of them that is either hopeful it will work, or does believe that it could work. So what is that part of them? That's the bit I'm looking for. I'm not to convince them. I'm not trying to prove anything to them. I'm not trying to give them any kind of evidence about my accolades or what I've done or who I've done it with. It's just about helping them come to that point for themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what was your first experience into hypnotherapy, Dipti? In a way that, obviously, if you become a practitioner, in my mind, or at least in my experience, then I want to learn the practice. So did it help you overcome something in your own life?
Yes, and I was in a really dark place when my mum died, and I think we talked about this in the other podcast, and that's how I discovered hypnotherapy. But someone actually said to me, "Have you tried hypnotherapy?" I didn't really know what it was or anything like that, so I was looking for a hypnotherapist, but then I couldn't really find anybody that I was, you know, feeling like I was going to gel with or connect with. But then I did find the hypnotherapy school that I trained with. So then I actually just immediately rang them, and I spoke to this amazing lady called Susan Rodriguez, and I call her the kind of mother in the mothership. You know, that's how I feel about her. So she and her and David Newton, who run the Clifton practice, kind of umbrella hypnotherapy place where I've trained, they just said, "Why don't you just come and train? You know, we have a space, and you know, just come and you know, just do it." And then I was like, 3 weeks later, booked on the training. So I hadn't even had any yet. So that was the most incredible experience, because I then learned it while I was feeling it, and I'm quite an experiential learner. I need to feel something to learn it. So that's how I
Me
learn.
too.
I'm actually going to work with Farah in the upcoming time to see if there's, to unlock any blocks that I might have towards money flowing towards me, and relationships. And Andy always says sex and money are one and the same thing. So I thought, hey, why don't we just work with both of these?
Yeah, good. Buy one, get one free.
That's so British, right? So, and the interesting thing is, I told her I'm more than happy that we document the whole journey. And she got really excited because she said normally people don't want to have their experience documented.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. I have a question.
I'm excited to see that.
If we take a step back to, you know, to the beginning, Bambos asked the question of where it started from, and the death, obviously, and that was my journey as well, with my death of my mom, where I try to make peace. But when you look at like just a more pragmatic question, like I quite honestly don't know what hypnotherapy is. I don't even know how it would be different than like hypnosis. So what is hypnotherapy, and how would it be different than, say, something like hypnosis?
Okay, so basically it's using hypnosis for therapy. That's that simple. So hypnosis is usually the challenging word that people kind of get a little bit spooked over, and you know, the same way as the word trance is a little bit loaded. So if I just explain what hypnosis is, that's basically what I do most of the day, is demystify the word. But hypnosis is just basically a form of sleep. Hypnos in Greek means sleep. So hypnosis is a form of sleep. So if you think about our sleep system, it kind of comes into 4 chunks. So you've got light sleep, then you've got REM, which is rapid eye movement, also known as dreaming. Then you've got deep, then you've got somnambulistic, which is basically, you know, sleep paralysis, dead to the world. Just, you know, a tree could fall into your bedroom and you wouldn't wake up, you know. So there's those 4 states like this, and then your sleep cycle is kind of going this way. So, but it's going in a wave all through each of those states of sleep, right? So here's where you go to sleep, here's where you wake up. And an ideal sleep system is that you've gone through all of these states bit by bit. So bit by bit, you'll get a little bit of REM at the beginning of the night, the middle of the night, and all the way through the night. And you go into REM like sort of 6-7 minutes, but that's your dream state as well. So you're not in a dream all night. You just kind of pop in and out to your dream, if that makes sense, you know, through your sleep cycle. Hypnosis gets you into REM. That's all it's doing, is getting you into the REM state and keeping you there for a length of time.
Wow.
And the reason why it's important to get into REM for a long period of time is because in REM, I've got this little bucket that I show people. So in REM, imagine your brain has got an emotional stress bucket in it, and it's filled with stress. So, for example, grief, Andy, would be like 10 times the size of this little ball, and that's why we get emotionally overwhelmed when we have things like grief happen, because it just like plops into the bucket, all the little stresses fall out of the bucket, and then we've got emotional overwhelm, right?
Yeah.
So what REM does in the brain is it basically creates a hole at the bottom of the bucket, so then all the stress can come out this way and not overflowing this way. Because if it starts to overflow this way, that's where we get states of overwhelm, anxiety, overload of stress, panic, paranoia, all of these things, depression. So if the bucket has got a good enough hole, you've got a good enough flow of that.
Bambos, can I just say something really quickly to you?
No.
Now, as Dipti talks, do you see how perfect she is to be on the BBC morning shows? I'm like entranced by her storytelling. Like Dipti,
hypnotizing you.
I'm loving this. Sorry, go ahead, Bambos.
Like, did it ever go wrong where people had bad experiences, or they had discoveries they couldn't come to terms with, or I don't know, like, what are the risks of doing hypnotherapy? There's a lot of questions here in one.
So personally, I've never had anything bad happen in my practice in the whole of the time I've been practicing. And I see people every day. It's not like I've got a little practice, I've got a thriving practice. I probably see 15 clients a week. And it's been about 10, 15 since I started, and that's a little, I don't know, you do the maths, my maths is quite rubbish.
But in general, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what would be the worst thing that could happen if someone was working?
I don't know how to answer that because it's never happened to me. So I actually don't have an answer for you.
Oh yeah.
And also, I just don't know what could go wrong because it's never happened.
We need to answer these questions before you let Bambos go under, so that we know we're protected.
Okay, what if the answer is nothing? Nothing could go wrong.
What if nothing could go wrong?
When you're having the training, they don't say, don't do this because this can happen, for example.
No, because we are accessing the left prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that you access when you're in a good place. You're in flow. You're in perspective. You are able to hold two kind of, or three or four ideas together at once without the bias happening. You are able to make a proper assessment of whatever is going on around you. So you're able to calculate risks as well as figure things out. You're looking for solutions. You're in that part of the brain that is innovative and creative and sorting things out. You're literally emptying your stress bucket. So when you're in that space, like, everything's going right. There is nothing going wrong.
Yeah.
That's where you go in your brain, in that state of mind.
Yeah, I'm now looking at my REM sleep, Bambos.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing. Let's do an evaluation on that. I got an hour and a half of REM sleep last night. How is that compared to others in the world?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a really good 90 minutes of REM a night is absolutely spot on. So well done, you. Good job.
Do you hypnotize yourself?
Yeah, every day.
You do?
Yeah, because it's like a personal trainer not going to the gym, right? Why would you not do that? If you know how good it is for your brain, why would you not do that for yourself? So I do it every day without fail.
You do what now? I don't know what Bambos asked you what you do.
Oh, I hypnotize myself.
You can hypnotize yourself.
Yeah, self-hypnosis. It's a thing. You can hypnotize yourself too. I can show you how to do it. I can even show you how to do it now.
Obviously, we're going to do that. Bambos, as long as Bambos is up for it.
I'm up for it. And we have 6 viewers, so let's bring it on.
And anyone online, if is there anything we should prepare them or set them up for if they want to join?
Basically, just go find yourself a comfortable position, get a blanket, because sometimes when you relax deeply, your temperature can drop. So get cozy, get warm, get comfy.
Mm.
You know,
Mind
you can do
your
it.
Andy.
Pardon?
What?
I said to Andy, comfortable doesn't mean mind your posture. I'm not there to like
I've
keep
got
it.
I've got a lot of critics about my posture lately, Dipti. This is how I get terrorized on the show. Okay,
Okay,
so
well, lie back with a good posture, maybe.
I'm lying however I feel most comfortable. I'm there now.
All right, and you're ready then. Perfect. So let's do this. So just for now, if you want to, allowing your eyes to close. If you don't feel comfortable with that, just lower your gaze. And first of all, just take your attention to your breathing. Really just start to focus on your own breath. With every breath in, send it deeper. Send it lower. With every breath out, imagine you're letting go of anything you just don't really need to hold on to right now. So, any conversations, any of that kind of negative stuff you might have going on in your mind, just for now, imagine that you're creating a boundary. It's like you're closing the door to that for now and just stepping into another quieter space. So, with every breath in, just send it that little bit deeper. And with every breath out, completely release. Just let go, as if you're letting go of anything now that you just don't need to hold on to right now, just in this moment and in this time. Because right now you're taking this time for you, and it's so important to just allow yourself to just be, noticing whatever comes in and out of your awareness, just noticing, but allowing the door to just be ajar so you can let things in as well as let things out. As you notice yourself relaxing, imagine that you can allow yourself to relax just a little bit more, paying close attention to the muscles in your face, especially around your forehead and that muscle in between your eyebrows. It's called the corrugator muscle because it looks like a little piece of corrugated card. Imagine you're stretching it out like you're ironing it out, so it's really smoothing itself out now. Relax your eyebrows and your eyelids. Relax your cheeks and your chin. Even notice how you can relax your jaw, just allowing your jaw to drop ever so slightly. I know for me that I hold a lot of tension in my jaw, so when I allow my jaw to soften, everything else just begins to soften. Just notice how you can soften all the tiny muscles that make up your facial expression now. When you soften your face in this way, you actually send a message down to the rest of your body, telling the rest of your body that you're allowing it to relax everywhere else. You are actually allowing your parasympathetic nervous system to switch on. That's just a fancy way of saying you are allowing relaxation in, just in your own way and in your own time. Feeling your shoulders drop away from your ears. Imagining a flow of relaxation traveling from your relaxed shoulders, down your arms, down past your elbows, down into your wrists, down even further into your fingers, into your thumbs, into your fingertips. One arm might feel more relaxed than the other one, and if that's the case, I'd like you to imagine how you can balance out that comfortable feeling from right to left and left to right, finding your own neutral, center, quiet. I'd like to use your imagination now. Imagine that there is a spiral of relaxation that's now spiraling around your spine from the top of your spine, very slowly and gradually spiraling around each vertebrae individually, one by one, piece by piece. As that spiral of relaxation touches the next vertebrae down, I'd like you to imagine that you can relax just a little bit more, so that by the time that spiral of relaxation travels to the middle of your spine, I'd like you to imagine what it would feel like if you were 50% more relaxed than you've ever been before. And as that spiral of relaxation continues to travel all the way down to the base of your spine now, imagine yourself just letting go fully, just as much as you are comfortable with right now, allowing the relaxation to travel down your legs, the tops of your legs and the backs of your legs, the tops of your knees, the back of your knees, down into your shins, your calf muscles, all the way down into your ankles, and right the way down into the soles of your feet and the tips of your toes, one by one, just letting go. And as you are relaxing now in your own way and in your own time, you know what? Everyone relaxes so individually. There isn't a wrong way or a right way. There isn't a quick way or a slow way. There is your way. Your way is the right way for you. Some people like to relax really fast, kind of a bit like when they're walking into one of those fancy hotel showers, you know, with like the massive shower head with the rainfall shower, and it's like really hot. And you literally turn it on and you feel the water traveling from the top of your head down into the tips of your toes, and you can almost feel yourself instantly relax. Other people just like to take their time, like we've just done here, just checking in with different parts of you and just noticing where you can soften out and smooth out gently and quietly. And now that you are relaxing, part of you is listening to the sound of my voice, and then the other part of you can just go off and drift and float into that kind of Sunday morning lying feeling. You know, when you're just lying in bed and you know that you don't really have to get up and you're warm and you're cozy. There's nothing really much to do, but you're so comfortable. And you can just allow your mind to drift and float while my voice just drifts and floats with you. And while you're here in this state, I want you to know that while you're here, this is you purely in your own flow state. This is where your mind is creatively opening up and giving you possibility, giving you useful ideas, motivating you, helping you tap into those resources that are yours, that are really useful to you, tapping into who you really are at the deepest level of you and bringing your wisdom to the forefront of your mind, helping you figure things out, even attracting you towards a situation or towards a certain person if that is the right way to go, and also protecting you and keeping you safe from people or places or situations that perhaps you don't really need to be involved with. And you can really now navigate this part of your mind because it's part of you, it's your intuition, it's your gut instinct, it's your flow. And as you connect with this part of you more and more, you start to guide your own life with this part of you active. And it's part of you that you know you feel confident here because you've been here before. You feel safe and equipped, and you have access to your own tools, your skills, your resources. And actually, you are motivated when you're in this part of your mind because you are excited about what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. And actually, as you focus on this, you start to find that different things come up for you. And actually, you don't even need to question them or judge them. You just notice them and they're just there. And it's nice to be in this flow state again, where you are the real version of you, unapologetically you. And you bring this awareness and this wisdom and this clarity back into your world and into your day with you as you now connect back with the sound of my voice. I'm going to count up now. 5. You can hear my voice clearly. 4. Just begin to feel whatever you're sitting down or lying down on now. 3. Feeling that blanket on top of you or the clothes against your skin. 2, wiggling your fingers and your toes, bringing some energy back into your body. And 1, when you're ready, opening your eyes and back in the room. Nice. Good job. Well done, you guys.
I caught my head like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
How was it for you, Andy?
I had different phases of reaction. It was really nice experience. So let's start with there. It felt as an experience like a mindfulness practice in some ways, because it was centering my feelings, and then what I started to see, and I could associate with when you mentioned the REM sleep. I could see there was a moment when I was letting go, and I didn't even know what the hell you were saying anymore. So you were really speaking to the subconscious. And then I noticed that on some level, there was a consciousness that I'm letting go. And then, although I was surrendering, I wasn't completely surrendering to it, because I'm like, oh, I'm still doing this. What if I don't wake up and then I've got to do this thing? So, but it wasn't so bad, but yet I saw that still there.
Yeah.
And regardless, didn't really matter. It was, there was the difference for me, if I was to give the explanation of a mindfulness practice against the hypno practice, knowing that I'm not necessarily doing this all that often, was that there was a degree to which I give you an example. This is very funny. I do breath work, and my breath work teacher hates me, because what I'll do in the breath work is I'll get a state and I'll let that state diffuse where I'm become nothing. In this, it just a feeling of nothingness. And she doesn't like when I do that. She's like, no, get centered again, find yourself back again. She'll always say that to me, because she'll see me just feeling this great relaxation, and she wants me to focus and stay present in the experience. And what I noticed with the hypnotherapy, I was losing that center, and I like that, actually. So it's my tendency to feel spaciousness. So I'm giving the experience words. I don't know how it was for you, Bambos, but those are the words I'd give to it.
So before I ask Bambos, I just want to reply to that.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. So in a way, meditation or mindfulness, imagine you're holding a helium balloon. In meditation or in mindfulness, you've got to stay holding the balloon. In hypnotherapy, you can let go of the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. You're allowed to get into spaciousness as much as you want, and the more the better, you know. And actually, that's the trust part of the hypnotherapist and the client, is that you trust that the hypnotherapist will say things to you that are useful in that state rather than not useful, right? So that's the trust part. That's why you can let go fully and surrender completely and get into that space, because in that space is magic.
Wow.
So Bambos.
I want to rewatch it and see myself, because in a way I could hear your words, but I could no longer grasp words.
Mm-hmm.
But I did experience that there was a complete letting go of it. Like it felt like a deep sleep, but not really.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So your conscious and subconscious come together, and it's like they have this little agreement with each other, and they'll say, like Andy was saying, hang on, I'm still doing a show here. I've got to keep some of myself switched on, because I got to kind of wrap it up at the end, So the conscious and the subconscious will just have this little agreement as to where you are now, how much control can this have, how much control can this have? And then it will have that little debate, and then you'll just allow that to play itself out, So let's say, Andy, you were let's say this was a private session and you were lying on your bed and you knew that you didn't have to kind of get up and do anything, you would have let your subconscious would have gone, okay, it's fine, let's keep going, and your conscious would have gone, yeah, that's fine, I'll go over there. You know what I mean?
So question: Andy suffers every year from, what do you call it, Andy? Like the
like herpes,
no,
or like
from colon
allergies.
allergies. Is that something you could like kick out of his system?
Yeah, I've done it for myself. I used to have a really, really bad cat allergy, severe cat allergy.
Randy, you're not going to suffer with this. Like, enough of that shit. And
Yeah.
the second thing he suffers with every time he travels, he doesn't sleep. Like, he suffers from jet lag. We're talking for weeks on end.
Oh, Andy, come on, we can do this.
Okay, Andy, I've hooked you up.
You know what? I remember one day I was having trouble sleeping, and I turned on it was a mindfulness. It felt more like hypnosis app. I turned it on at 11 o'clock, and I went to sleep to it, and it was on like till 6 in the morning. So actually, this app was running the whole night, and it was just this meditative voice. Like, and I never thought I'd be able to sleep with sound that would be that continuous, but it was just, it kept me in this certain state. And I,
that's the point of it. It's about keeping you in the altered state of consciousness, so REM, theta state, basically theta brainwave. When you're in the theta brainwave, basically you kind of stay. So think about REM as a, like, so here's light sleep, here's REM sleep. So REM's underneath light. If you're only going up to REM and coming back down again, you don't ever get into light, which wakes you up, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So you'll only get REM disturbed if something wakes you up that's kind of like a loud noise, or a child comes into your bed or something, or a dog jumps on you or whatever. You will wake up during a dream, but then you know you're a little bit you know when you wake up in the middle of a dream, you're like completely disorientated.
Yeah.
Like, hang on, is this real? Is this happening? Did that happen? You don't really know where you are. You're not really meant to wake up from a dream like that, because you're meant to go back down again into deep sleep. So when you wake up like out of the blue from a dream, that can be really disorientating. And the stress in our stress bucket, because the dream state is emptying the bucket, like, so, like, this is a bit of a strange one to explain, but like, say you're in REM and your brain knows you've got like 6 minutes in this REM cycle, and say there's loads in the bucket, it hasn't got enough time to empty all of it, so it will try and empty as much as it can, but then you'll come out of REM again into light, and it will still be trying to empty. And then that's why you wake up again, because your brain's going, oh, can't compute or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So the reason why hypnosis, and we do it week after week as a practice, is because if we empty the bucket bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, then your sleep will just get into a really good state, and then you will get into the natural cycle all on your own. And then I use audios for my clients every night for them to use the sleep audio, for them to maintain that homeostasis, basically.
I'd love to share a side story. Maybe a year or two ago, Ronnie had this dream that I was sleeping with all of her best friends, right? And then she woke up, and then it was in that point where the dream stayed real for her. So she was angry at me that whole day, although like nothing had transpired. Even the friends didn't exist, because they were just imaginary things. So it was really funny. The whole day I kept hugging her and said, "Baby, I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me?"
Because it feels so real, doesn't it? Because you feel all of that emotion as it happened, because that's your emotional stress bucket. So that's why the brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality sometimes, you know? So that's a really good example. Yeah.
Well, the way you're speaking, it reminds me of the time when I overdosed on hallucinogenics for 2 months. I couldn't come out of the trip.
Wow.
And it was in a time where I was quite destructive with my abusive drug addiction. And I couldn't separate dreams from reality. And now my question to you is, would hypnosis be something that you would have attempted on me?
So if you think about hallucinogenic use, are you allowed to say what it was exactly that you were using?
I took everyday amounts of liquid LSD.
Okay, so you're actually getting that's DMT in a way, isn't it? So is LSD DMT?
No, LSD is the acid, right?
So but that is releasing DMT in the brain, yes?
Not that I know of. I know it distorts you with your brain cells, but
there must be some kind of chemical that is releasing. So, for example, ecstasy releases a load of serotonin, cocaine releases a load of dopamine, mushrooms release DMT. So, what does acid release?
Oh, that I don't know.
That's a good question, but LSD is more chemical. So I would say mushrooms are, I would say, more healthy.
Yeah. So, what I'm interested in is what's actually being changed chemically in the brain.
You want me to Google it?
I think
let's say that it is. Let's say that it's because it's a trip. So if you think about a dream, when you're in the dream, that's quite trippy, like a normal dream, right? Because you're with your headmaster, you're bouncing on a trampoline that's made of marshmallow, and in the dream you're like, yeah, this is happening. You don't question it, you don't judge it, you don't kind of dispute it. It's all going on, it's fine. And that's because the DMT that you are actually naturally releasing in your brain is being released at the very perfect, like it's drip feeding at the very perfect amount for you. So think about this then. When we go into trance, we release the right amount of serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine and DMT together to make the perfect cocktail. So it's like some of my clients call it their legal high. They do. That's the word for it. And they're like, I've come to a legal high, and I'm like, I should put that on my website. But so it's kind of, releasing the best chemistry that your brain has to offer to you freely on demand. And that's why you don't then need the additional support of the other chems, So your question is a very long answer, sorry, but your question was, would hypnotherapy help? Yes, because it will rebalance you again chemically, because that's what's happened when you have extra chemicals in your system. You're good for a long time or a little amount of time, however long the trip or the buzz lasts, and then it comes crashing down, and that crash is basically not nice. And then the brain goes, oh, I didn't like that. Quick, let's get back to high again. Let's repeat what we just did, because then that's what gets us back there again, right? So then the crash, the drop, the crash, the drop is just too much of a yo-yo effect for the brain. And that's where we've got then other, issues that kind of come into the psychology of, over anxiety, paranoia, depression.
Yeah. One more question, if that's okay, Andy.
Please.
Like, we had a guest last week who had schizophrenia, and he kind of overcame that. Like, how about that? Like, I always find all these labels quite extreme, and I don't really understand what it's like to be schizophrenic. But how would that? Well, actually, I could. As he spoke on that show, my body I felt like vomiting. I wanted to actually leave the show now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But
could
you help people get out of a schizophrenic state experience?
So schizophrenia and a lot of labeled terms like manic depression or OCD they have a massive, like, edge to edge thing going on, right? So it's like here or here. So what hypnotherapy helps you with is understand your edges, be familiar with them, but also if you know how big your edges are end to end, then you know where the middle is. If you don't know where the edges are, then you don't know where the middle is. So it's always about, you kind of have to know your edges to find your center. That's the way I talk about it. So if, like, a schizophrenic mind would be like this voice and this voice, which voice do I listen to? But if you think about it, we're all a bit schizophrenic because we all have polarized voices in our heads, right? We've got this one going, no, you can't do that. No, you're not good enough. No, that's a rubbish idea. Then you've got this one going, oh, but I need to show the world who I am, and I need to shine, and I need to, like, be bright. And then you've got this middle voice going, just calm down and just get on with it, So, really, schizophrenia is just an amplified version of that, where one voice might be more compelling than the other one, And if we can find the voice that is going to be useful to you and kind of weigh things up better, and that's basically what hypnotherapy does, then if you stick to that voice and you amplify that, give that one the microphone, everything starts to settle.
Nice.
Do
you have a Spotify account where people can tune into your voice?
I have my artist name on Spotify is Hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy, and I have 11 tracks, and they're not hypnosis tracks, but they're inspirational tracks with inspirational words, and they're trance tracks, as in the music trance, as in trance.
Yeah.
But trance, it's a play on words, really, because trance music gets you in a trance. That's what it's called, trance music, right?
Yeah.
So I've used trance music with my words and my voice. So yeah, I think you'd love it. Go and check Hypnotherapy on Spotify. I think you'll love it.
Nice.
I was noticing the experience we talked about that trance-like experience, that I'm familiar with that from the breath work. But the breath work, you're getting it through this hyperventilating, and your system is your oxygen levels are so high that all of a sudden you kind of zone out, and you're just, you're almost like, identityless for that moment. And it's curious to me. I now see all of these similar, what I call them, just tools that people can access to feel grounded, more comfortable in their state of mind. And this feels like another thing that someone can always reach to.
Yeah, there are lots of avenues pointing to the same destination, aren't there? And this, it's always going to the same destination, really, isn't it? Stillness, peace, love.
Yeah. Iris Offer, who has also been on the show, says that she does hypnosis to put herself to sleep in the evenings, which is, and she also, which was a nice statement. She says, mindfulness is more awareness and hypnosis is more letting go. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. And that's exactly with the helium balloon analogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mindfulness meditation, hold on to the helium balloon, keep holding on to it. And hypnosis, you can let go of them, let them float up into the sky. It's nice.
Wonderful. The bucket and this whole beautiful representation of stress and the overload of stress and the relieving it through REM sleep. That's something that, it's funny. I know it intuitively, but I also have never seen it presented so simply. So I know if I've had a really good sleep, like my confidence in taking on challenges increases exponentially. And if I've had a long period of bad sleep, all of a sudden everything feels like a chore.
Yeah.
Even opening an email, every email becomes like, oh shit, there's a potential bomb in this.
Paper tigers, exactly. So we've got to get rid of that. We've got to get rid of the stress. obviously not get rid of the stress in the bucket. I think you can't empty the bucket. You definitely can stop it overflowing. That's the problem. We overflow our bucket, and someone even said to me once, "Can I just get a bigger bucket?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
No.
You know, that those people tend to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and buy the family bucket. That's how it works. I've got you know, have you ever taken that bucket on any of the BBC shows that you go on in the morning? Because that looks like a perfect prop.
I know, I should do. I will do.
Next time you go on, I want that bucket. I want you to call me. I want you to say, Andy, the bucket went down great.
Okay, I promise.
Yeah.
And you can do this so he knows your.
Yeah, do the wipe. Do that single wipe, like like an Austin Powers.
One for you, one for you.
You could do an Austin Powers look, you know. Is there anything else? I know that like your son is going off to college, or he's going off to a proper college, and now you've got an empty nest. So how does life feel now that the one thing that gave your life meaning is now leaving?
That's a good question.
I love Bambos's face in response to that question.
Well, I don't feel that they're leaving. That's the thing, you know. They haven't left. They're just doing their thing that involves what they need to do, you know. So I'm still a mum, you know. It doesn't matter where they go, even if they go to the moon, or if they decide to get on Elon's ship and go to Mars, you know, they're still my sons.
Yeah.
So they didn't leave, you know. They've never left, and they won't be leaving. They're just always there, and you know, the parenting that I have given them hopefully goes with them. That's what I'm hoping.
I love it.
That's hilarious, because the way Andy asked that question, I'm thinking he's going to get 5 more emails this evening.
When I asked that question, usually Bambos is sitting next to me on the sofa, and we can kind of squeeze each other's legs, just like.
Hey,
you know what was?
Have we got time for me to pull you a card?
Obviously, of course.
Because today, literally before I came on with you, I picked up my wisdom deck. Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Can you see that? Or is it
it's a little bit overexposed. Let me put you on the main camera so we can get a good look at this. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So let me turn this down. There we go. I don't know if you can see that properly. So I picked this wisdom deck up. And there's a funny story about this. So last week, I've been doing like readings for people using other angel cards and things. And then I suddenly thought, I really want my own angel cards or my own wisdom deck. So I literally went into trance, and I had that in my head. I was like, right, I need to download from somewhere wisdom cards. And then I went to sleep. And then, kind of woke up again. This is like at now 3 a.m. And I literally, my brain was going bzzz. And so I had to get out of bed, get my computer, and literally make them. So that's how you can use trance. You can literally download stuff. It's amazing.
I mean, I love it. And I think that follows with all of the creativity in my life, is that it comes to me and I just have to channel it. So if you don't decide when or where it happens, but when it hits, you better be ready to channel it, because you don't often get another bite at that apple.
You get out of bed and you just get on with it. Anyway, they're right today. So I'm going to pull you both a card, one each.
Please.
And this will be your message for the day. So I will do Andy first, because he's looking keen. All right, let's see. This is the first time I'm doing a reading from my wisdom deck.
Oh, great.
I'm excited about this. Okay, I'm feeling this card. Whoa! Wisdom itself.
Nice.
So let me read it to you. So there's a mind message and a body message and a soul message. So the word for the mind is clarity. So kind of let that sit in your mind. The word for the body is stillness. And the word for the soul is peaceful. So I'm going to read you your affirmation, and I can send you a picture of this afterwards so you have it. So it says, When I connect with the deepest part of my being, I seem to know things. I don't know how I know, and I don't question or doubt my knowing. I have an awareness that I can tap into at all times. I can connect with this knowing instantly and easily.
Doesn't sound anything like me.
No, not at all.
I was gonna say,
Thinking about.
Bambos is gonna use this fucking card against me forever.
I'll send you a picture of it.
Please do.
Bambos, you go next. Ready? Okay, let's see. Which one for you? This one. Oh. Can you see that? Awake, it says. Awake.
Nice.
Okay, I will read the mind. There's the word for your mind, Bambos, is alive. Alive mind. The word for your body, connected. The word for your soul, aware. Okay, and I'll read your affirmation. I am aware of everything, and my energy is vibrating at a new level. I feel alive and connected to the world within me and outside of me. I am awake and ready to live with full awareness of the multifaceted reality that life has to offer.
Nice.
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 Thank you.
Buy one, get one free.
Very fitting for both of us. Beautiful.
There we go.
Well, thank you.
Like a Kit Kat or a Twix or something like that.
What?
I didn't understand. You have to repeat that, Bambos.
Well, whenever I think of England, I think of these chocolates like Kit Kat and like the duet one, Twix.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Things that we would never eat, right? But it's a buy one, get one free normally deal.
Oh, that's right. Exactly. At the cash register. And Bambos, you say you might not ever eat it, but I certainly would. So
Yeah,
let's correct that.
I like a Twix. I like a Kit Kat.
Yes.
Oh,
So
thanks for
Dipti,
being with us again.
a question for you before we, if people want to see whatever you're doing or connect with your activities or buy wisdom cards, then where would they do that?
Oh, it's just my website, really. It's just my name. It's quite easy. Diptitate.com.
Nice. I love it.
Although I have been having a little bit of an issue with one of the browsers won't connect to my website for some reason, but hopefully it's fixing it at the moment. So diptitate.com.
Great. We have it.
I just posted it.
Yeah, Bambos posted it. Thank you for being with us. Yes, we love you as always.
Thank you for asking me.
And I look forward to finding another excuse to bring you on. So we'll figure something out. Yes.
Yay.
Maybe when he gets the hay fever, we can do another.
Well, why don't we do that? Like you're doing with your hypnotherapist, we could do like a broadcasting allergy cure.
Oh, nice.
Should we do that? Let's do it.
Maybe we'll do it on Clubhouse because everyone seems to be interacting on Clubhouse, so they can come up one by one and be entranced.
Okay, we could do that. Yeah, I could have a trance room.
No. We're going to do it right here because I saw Andy trying to avoid it.
No, I wasn't trying to avoid it, actually. I saw that Dipti is actually going to be on Clubhouse as well. So I realized that she's getting active there. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Getting Clubhouse action going on as well as
Yes, I see. Yeah. We send you love. Yeah.
Big hugs.
Thank you.
Namaste. Bye.
Bye. Hey, Vam.
Hey, And.
That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice. I always it's sort of interesting because there's each show, as you know, has a different feel to it. And whenever we have Dipti on, it's just like we're inviting a friend on and chatting with a friend for the hour, and other people just happen to be listening to us. It's really nice. Anything rise up for you in the session, in the time?
No, I guess I felt really tired. So during the hypno, I really let go.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't sleep very good yesterday after the show.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course.
It felt like demons were leaving my body.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yes. Yeah, my jaw, I was yawning a lot. So I was really feeling myself, falling into like I felt like I could fall asleep, quite honestly. So I think we probably had very similar experience. We'll have to watch it back to see our reactions.
It'll be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
add music to it.
yeah, they're watching the show. Anyone that would see just the visual without realizing, they'd say, "What are these two guys doing, sleeping while this woman's talking?"
Yes.
So we have a lot of new shows. I don't even know who we've got on tomorrow. I'm not sure if you got the list in front of you or not.
Tomorrow, my mom spent much of her life homeless.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic, because I noticed that some of my friends' parents were homeless, and I realized, wow, what a challenge is that? Because the person who is supposed to be taking care of you by societal standards, you have to take care of. What a trip that is. So she said that she'd come on and talk to us about that. So we have that tomorrow. And
on Thursday, we have Please Stay on Your Screens All Day long.
Yeah. We have a guy on who said, Andy, I said, what would we like to talk about? He's doing leadership courses and trainings online. He says, Andy, I don't see what the reason is or problem is with screen time. I think people should be on their screens all day long. And I said, okay, let's make that the topic, because I'm sure it'll get a lot of people interested in what your perspective is. Yeah.
And Friday, we have From Prisoner to Setting Families Free with Mark Olmsted.
Yeah, he wrote, basically he was living a pretty rough life, ended up in prison at some point, and then he started doing children's books and teaching families how to heal. It won some awards. So what a great story of just somebody who had a rough beginning and used that as often the theme we have is the wounded healer. Nice. So we have that and much, much more, Bambos, on what?
A wonderful
chaos. Who's going to press the button? Who's going to press the button? Bye. Ciao.